Yo, what is up everybody? We're back with another video talking about Salt Lake City's population and how it's changed over the last couple of years. We've seen a huge boom in the number of people who are moving to Utah, as well as a lot of people who grew up here that have not moved away. We have a lot of people, a lot of students, younger demographic, who end up going to one of the colleges or universities here in the state, and rather than move to other areas, they're actually staying put right here in our hometown. For a big portion of the rest of the country, that's absolutely not normal. Most people grow up in a specific area, they'll go off to school in another state, and then transfer again to another state to find a long-term place to settle down. However, here in Utah, things are a little bit different. So we're going to talk about population, we're going to talk about how that's changed and which cities and counties have seen the biggest influx, and we're going to talk about some other things here in this video. What's up, you guys? My name is Cody Steck, your favorite Utah realtor. If this is your first time here to the channel, I make videos about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play here along the Wasatch Front. In fact, we actually make videos all about Utah. So if you're interested in more information like that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, as we jump into my screen here, I do want to cover one thing just really quick. We just got news that the new Daybreak Stadium is getting a name and is going to seat more people than previously announced. Now, this is no surprise. You know, if you've been following news about Utah or you're from Utah, this might be something that you are already aware of, and so this may not be news for you, but we just got new renderings. They've changed some of the features of this new ballpark that they're going to be using. Now, if you don't already know, the Salt Lake Bees, who are currently based in South Salt Lake, are actually going to be moving out to Daybreak in a brand new stadium. This is a quick picture of the stadium. You've got, you know, your typical baseball diamond. The thing that they added in here was actually some ground level grass seating out here, which is actually pretty cool. So I'm excited for that. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be nice to have a new stadium, you know, because honestly, going to the current stadium where the Bees play, it's a little bit sketchy, not the nicest place. It's old, it's run down, yeah, just kind of not the best experience in my opinion going out there. So I'm actually really excited for this to just take it to another area and be able to experience a new stadium in a great neighborhood. So just wanted to share that news really quick. So as we mentioned before, these were Utah's fastest growing cities in 2023, and there's even a few cities that lost population. So we're going to run through this article here. No Utah city led the nation in growth last year, just one particular city, but over a dozen communities gained at least 1,000 new residents between 2022 and 2023, according to this new data. This is pretty crazy if you think about it, because if you have 1,000 new people that move into one particular city, that's a big strain on traffic, on housing, on all of your entertainment, all of your retail stuff like the grocery store, the bank, the gym, everything like that, right? If you factor that in, maybe say you've got 3 to 4 people in a household on average, that's over 300 new households that have formed in just that one particular community. The state also topped the U.S. in housing unit growth for the third straight year, increasing its housing stock by 2.5% between July of 22 and July of 23, according to these new data sets. Both data sets offer a clearer picture of the state and county trends previously released over the past few months. Some similar trends stuck around. Says this, Utah's growing community. Let's jump down here. Unsurprisingly, 3 Utah county cities led the state in community growth after the county gained an estimated 16,000 residents between 2022 and 2023. Lehigh, Saratoga Springs, and Eagle Mountain should come as no surprise that they combined to account for nearly 3/4 of that growth as the county's northern end fills out. So most of that growth, you know, roughly, let's say 13,000 people moved to Lehigh, Saratoga Springs, Eagle Mountain. That's absolutely crazy. And it actually leads me into my next thing that I want to talk about, guys. If you're thinking about making a move here, call or text or email me anytime, please. My information's here on the screen. I've had hundreds of people reach out to me from these videos. I've helped a number of these people who've made this move to this area, buy houses, sell houses, invest in real estate, and I would love to hear from you as well. If you're looking at doing any of those things, whether you already live here or you're moving in from out of state, please reach out to me. I'd love to be your resource of choice. Call, text, or email me anytime. My information's here on the screen. With that said, let's continue on. This is going to be a trend that has lasted for years and will continue for many more years to come. The amount of growth going on in these cities is absolutely crazy. The same 3 cities and Payson on the southern end claimed 4 of the 5 largest percentage growth spikes among cities with at least 20,000 residents. Saratoga Springs' estimated population surpassed 50,000 residents for the first time last year, and it's now one of 17 Utah cities above that magical number that the Census Bureau uses to define a large city, right? So we have 17 cities here in Utah that are considered large cities. St. George in southwest Utah and Utah's capital, Salt Lake City, rounded out the top 5 in year-over-year growth. Salt Lake City also patted its lead as the state's most populated city with an estimated 209,000 residents, over 75,000 more than any other city. Now, this is a little bit misleading because the Salt Lake City limits do actually expand outside of kind of the actual Salt Lake City metro that most people would consider to be Salt Lake City. So take that with a grain of salt. But nevertheless, let's look at this chart right here. Utah's fastest growing communities in 2023, Lehigh at 5,800, Saratoga Springs 32, 2,800 here in Eagle Mountain, and 2,000 in St. George. Even Salt Lake City, the downtown market, actually had about 1,900, which is pretty crazy. West Haven, Weber County was 1,600. Lots of growth land out there. So there's a lot of new houses going in and lots of demand for that area. Same thing here in Syracuse with 1,400 people. Payson and Spanish Fork and American Fork are all going to be in Utah County as well, and still seeing a lot of growth there as well. On a percentage basis, West Haven actually had the biggest percent increase, but these other cities here in Utah County round out the top 5. Lehigh, Payson, Saratoga Springs, and Eagle Mountain. So with that said, let's jump down here and take a look at this. This just talks a little bit more about West Haven and Weber County like we just discussed, basically saying that the growth mirrors trends in northern Utah County, which is that the communities around the Wasatch Front that have room, that have space for new housing, are typically where the biggest population gains are happening. Boom, boom, no surprise. I don't think that comes as a, as something that's most people wouldn't have guessed, right? So Utah's 10 most populated cities in 2023, Salt Lake at 209,000, West Valley at 134, much smaller than Salt Lake City. West Jordan actually at 114, which is kind of crazy. Provo 113. If I had to guess, I would have said that Provo is a bigger city than West Jordan, but West Jordan actually covers a very, very large amount of space. So that does make sense. St. George, 104,000, Orem 95, Sandy 91, Lehigh 90,000, up one spot from 2022. Ogden at 87,000, now only number 9 on the list, and South Jordan rounding out number 10. Meanwhile, Garden City and Ridge County led the state in percentage growth among communities of any size. This is where Bear Lake is at, so that's no surprise. It's a great place to be. I've spent a lot of time up there in the summer and absolutely love it. They grew almost 13% as it surpassed just 700 residents in 2023. It's a very, very small city, but the number of people that are traveling there, especially during the summer, is very, very high. The Gardner Policy Institute tracks population trends and housing permits with slightly different data sets, and there was nothing there that indicated it could be the second in the nation in unit growth aside from short-term rentals. They said that actually there's a huge amount of increase in Rich County, 8.5% housing stock increase, which was second in the nation last year. So that's pretty wild that there's such a big increase there. Scrolling down here a little bit further, the cities in decline. Let's talk a little bit about this. The community data doesn't explain why some cities grow faster than others or why some lose population, but it does show where Salt Lake County, Utah's most populated county, lost a sliver of its population. The agency previously estimated the county lost nearly 800 residents between 2022 and 2023, despite the combined estimated growth of 5,000 residents in Salt Lake City. South Jordan, Draper, and Harriman, losses in other parts of the county stunted its gains. West Valley, West Jordan, Sandy, Mill Creek, Taylorsville, and Holiday represented the bottom 6 in year-over-year population, losing an estimated 6,930 residents. This is actually really surprising because these are all, pretty decent places to live. I mean, sure, West Valley and Taylorsville are not going to be the nicest place to live, but considering that's where a lot of affordable housing is, that's actually quite surprising to see. Same thing with West Jordan, Mill Creek. These are going to be kind of in the mid-range, neighborhoods here. And then you've got Sandy and Holiday, which are going to be a little bit higher end. It's pretty interesting to see that these different cities are losing population despite, different economic backgrounds, despite being spread out throughout the entire county, and just having a very different socio-demographic layout for these particular cities. The state's fastest growing county isn't immune to this trend, even if it's at a lesser rate. So even though we talked about Saratoga Springs, Eagle Mountain, and Lehigh growing crazy fast, it actually says that Orem, Springville, Pleasant Grove, and Provo, 4 of the largest cities, lost a combined 1,500 residents from its 2022 estimates, rounding out the bottom 10 in year-over-year change. Bateman said there's a few possible factors for this, but the first that comes to mind is the opposite of what the fast-growing Wasatch Front communities have, which is space. There's places that are not fully built out, but they're getting close. Scrolling down a little bit further to wrap this up, this could be an explain the outlier of Salt Lake City. It doesn't have the space to build outward as other fast-growing cities, so now it's all about building up. Large-scale apartment units are popping up all over the city as it builds density. Now, this is really pretty interesting. Obviously, there's a housing shortage, so it's not surprising to see that now, because they're building up taller, they're building apartment buildings, this is going to add to the population in the area overall. So with that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a call, text, or email if you're looking at buying, selling, or investing in real estate here in Utah. I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out anytime. I want to be your trusted real estate resource of choice. I love hearing from you guys, and cannot wait to hear from you who's watching the video right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.